Now for the new thermal paste comparisons, and this time it won't be that extensive because we have right here 4 of these, and we're going to take a run on these 4. So we're having Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT, we have Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT, we have PolarTherm X10 and PolarTherm X8, and we have here these wipes from Thermal Grizzly that come in quite handy when doing such work, because you constantly have to clean the surface of the processor and the surface of the cooler just to properly apply the thermal paste and to have a, well, basically a clean surface, right? Because in other terms, you won't have any proper results. But regardless of that, two bench tables right here. One is AMD and one is Intel. We have right here AMD Ryzen 99950X3D. Man, that sounds really cool when saying cool down with Arctic Liquid Freezer 3360 non-RGB. And this is MSI MPG X870E carbon Wi-Fi. We have Kingston Fury Renegade 2x16 and 6400 megahertz, and that's basically it. I mean, the graphic card and everything else is only relevant in this scenario. And then we go to Intel part, where we have Intel Core Ultra 9 285K cooled down with Noctua NHD15G2. We have Kingston Fury Renegade 2x24 at 8400 megahertz CU DIMM, and well, basically MSI MPG Z890 carbon Wi-Fi. So basically quite identical setups, I would say. I just ran with higher frequency because Intel can handle that, and you won't get any benefits going with the higher clocks regarding the memories. So what I did is I even extended the benchmarks. So we're not only having IDA 64 Extreme Edition System Stability Test and Cinebench R23, we're having multiple Cinebench runs, and of course we're having Corona 10 and Corona 1.3 to gather as much as information as possible. Now, of course, grabbing everything all together, what I got is, well, at some stage we get quite normal, let's say, ranking. But then on Intel we had loads of variations. So let's get to the part immediately and check everything out, because this is a start of all the future thermal paste comparisons that I will be doing. And we're starting with these 4. So as I stated, I'm gonna go with AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D, cooled down with Arctic Liquid Freezer 3360, IDA 64 System Stability Test. What we got is Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT at 80 degrees with 4915 megahertz. Then the second place takes PolarTherm X10 with 81 degrees and 4910 megahertz. Now this place is also splitted with Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT with also 81 degrees and 4910 megahertz. So they are in this scenario the same. And then we go with PolarTherm X8 with 82 degrees and 4900 megahertz. So you can see the difference, how the thermals rise, the clock speed goes down on the AMD. Cinebench single thread score. Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT 2260 points, 62 degrees, 5700 clock speed. Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT 2253. PolarTherm X10 2251 and X8 22851. The thermals have slight difference only. So with DURONAUT and X8 you have 2 degrees difference, and then we have KRYONAUT and X10 at 63, so that's quite alright. And the same thing goes with clock speed. Now, the interesting part and what I enjoy doing the most is 10-minute throttle test in Cinebench R23 in multi-core. So, Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT, 76 degrees, 4910 clock speed. It had 31 passes, but you know, when the time runs out, it's still going till it finishes the last run. So 31 was somewhere in the middle of rendering, and we had a score of 40,845. PolarTherm X10 at 77 degrees, 4905 megahertz, 31 mid again, and the score was 40,802. Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT 77 degrees, 4905 again, and the 31 mid. Basically, all of them did 31 mid. Slight differences, and basically maybe unnoticeable. And then we have the Cinebench score 40,590, and PolarTherm X8 78 degrees 4,900, clock speed with 31 mid on the passes and 40,544. Now these scores in Cinebench will be most likely updated because I really do have to do complete clean installation, because I heard that 9950 X3D can go up to 44,000 Cinebench points. So in that terms I will update during the next thermal paste comparison, but just for this scenario, this is what we got, and I don't think the position of the thermal paste will change. It will only just get more Cinebench points. Regardless of that, let's go with KRYONAUT 10. Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT, again on the first position, 72 degrees. We have clock speed at 4834.63 with 14.8 million rays per second. Then we have Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT, 72 degrees, again, 4841.24 megahertz clock speed with 14.8 million samples per second. PolarTherm X10, 73 degrees, 4827.10 megahertz and 14.79 million samples per second. Then we go finally with Corona 1.3. PolarTherm X8 takes the first place, and this is quite surprising, but when you take a look at it, it had thermals at 74 degrees, but 33 seconds to finish the render with 5150 megahertz clock speed and 14.35 million samples per second. The Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT at second position, 72 degrees. Again, we're having 33 seconds to finish the render, higher clock speed, but lower million rays per second with 14.2 million. And then we have Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT, 72 degrees, 34 seconds to finish the render, 5160 megahertz clock speed, and even lower rays per second in this scenario. Finally, PolarTherm X10 with 72 degrees, 36 seconds to finish the render, 5150 megahertz clock speed with 14.2 million samples per second. That's about it. It's quite interesting. DURONAUT did take 4 out of 5 benchmarks at the first position. Then we have KRYONAUT switching positions with PolarTherm X10 and at the last place, but I wouldn't say last place for the X8, because when you take into consideration that these are just small margins, and when you take into consideration the price tag of the X8, I think that's quite solid. The more thermal paste that I add to this in the future, of course, that I add to these thermal paste comparison, we'll be getting more, let's say, visual aspect, how the PolarTherm X8 stacks compared to, I don't know, Noctua, Arctic, and all the others that you mentioned in past comparisons that I did, because I am going to acquire those as well. Now, let's skip to Intel Core Ultra 9 285K paired up with Noctua NHD15G2. I did a 64 Extreme Edition system stability test. Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT 70 degrees with 5400 megahertz. Now, the clock speed on Intel is like 50% the same, because we have either 5400 megahertz or 5300 megahertz. It doesn't go anywhere different than that. So I'm going to skip that part and just going to mention when it's below 5400. So Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT with 70 degrees, then we have KRYONAUT at 73, X10 with 74, and X8 with 75. Cinebench single thread score, DURONAUT at 2308 with 41 degrees. Then we have X10 with 2306 with 45 degrees. KRYONAUT 2304 with 44 degrees, but we have a lower score. And X8 with 2293 with 47 degrees. And as I stated in the past scenario, I'm going to say it again, 10-minute test throttling. PolarTherm X10 takes the first place this time, but with a higher bit, 1 degree higher, 76 degrees, 5300 megahertz clock speed. And again, at the same time as we had the 9950 X3D, the Ultra 9 285K has the same 31 passes somewhere in the middle, with the Cinebench score of 40,738. Then we have Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT 75 degrees, 5300. So all of these are 5300 megahertz clock speed, 31 mid passes. but the Cinebench score was 40,691. Then we have Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT 76 degrees, 40,618, and PolarTherm X8 78 degrees with 40,373 Cinebench points. And that's quite interesting because so far the only one that was really close up there was Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT. So going with Corona 10, we have Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT this time taking the first position with 76 degrees, 5300 MHz clock speed, 13.1 maybe 2 millisamples per second. Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT with 74 degrees, but we have lower million rays per second with 13.14 million samples per second, and PolarTherm X10 76 degrees with 13.0 million samples per second. PolarTherm X8 takes the fourth position with 78 degrees with a bit less, so 13.04 million samples per second compared to 13.06 million samples per second. Now it's time to go with Corona 1.3. Thermal Grizzly KRYONAUT takes the first place with 74 degrees on the processor, 42 seconds to finish the render with 12.4 million samples per second. Thermal Grizzly DURONAUT 72 degrees, but 45 seconds to finish the render with 12.38 million rays per second. PolarTherm X10 and X8 third and fourth position, 75 and 76 degrees, 5300 MHz clock speed on all, 46 seconds to finish the render for both, with just margin lower 12.35 million rays per second and 12.31 million samples per second. In this scenario for Intel Ultra, we got like everything. Majority, I would say that DURONAUT takes two first positions, and in the scenario with test throttling Corona 10 and Corona 1.3, it has better thermals, but somehow the performance, I don't know what happened here, honestly. It should have performed much better, but it got second position, and I think that's still close. I mean, again, we're having DURONAUT, KRYONAUT, and PolarTherm X10 swapping positions quite closely. The only thing that I see in majority is that the DURONAUT has much lower thermals, and in some scenarios by 2 degrees. X8 is again on fourth position, but as I stated, it isn't that bad because it performs quite good, specifically for that price tag. So I would say, okay, DURONAUT is a new thermal paste that launched recently, right? But it does perform quite well, and it does extend the KRYONAUT throughout the whole period of lifespan that it had, and it was a great thermal paste, still is, don't get me wrong. But when you take into consideration that this is a new one and the PolarTherm is price per performance outstanding, you're getting like really hard one to choose. I would say that X10 is definitely a best buy in that sense, when you take into consideration price, performance, and that it sticks quite close to KRYONAUT and eventually in some scenarios to DURONAUT. DURONAUT takes the first place with ease, taking the thermals on both processors quite lower, and when you take into consideration that AMD usually doesn't lower down the thermals that much because it tries to push as high as possible, just pushes the thermals higher if the cooling is better, but it still managed to do that as well on the AMD Ryzen 99950X3D. So I would say that's quite solid still. In general, what I would say is what I stated earlier: X10 takes the Best Buy badge, DURONAUT takes the Performance badge. The KRYONAUT and X8 are just there. They're good. They're really good. I would say just give them an approved badge because they do still perform quite well. But when you take into consideration price and performance, you already know. You can make a conclusion from everything that I stated. So this was quite fun. I do have to say it did took me quite a while to assemble all of this and run multiple benchmarks. What I wanted to do is extend this comparison and swap the liquid freezer to Intel and the Noctua to AMD, but I actually ran out of KRYONAUT, so this was all I could manage so far. Regardless of that, I hope this kind of gives you more insights on everything, and of course I'll be extending it eventually with others because these benchmarks take quite a lot of time. You most likely can presume about that. So I'll try to separate everything and of course keep the original tables, and eventually when I go and fix the 9950 X3D with the Cinebench scores, I'll update the scores and the thermals and everything all together. But as I stated, it does perform as it should, just might have some, I don't know, I have to check out the tweaking and stuff like that just to give you proper results. That's it. The comparison when we're talking about the thermal paste goes in the same direction, just should have 4000 Cinebench points higher, which also kind of beats the whole Intel Ultra 9 285K, but that's another topic for another story. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this gave you some insights about everything, and if it did, well, just don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you quite soon in another one. Thanks, bye bye.